how is everybody doing today? Jesus Christ, I cannot tell you how many people have been asking me about, man, did you hear? Did you hear what Donald Trump did? DEI. Oh my God, he got rid of it. Do you know what this means? I said, yeah, it means we're going to have competent people doing the right job the first time. Yay, yay. I mean, can't everybody end up respecting that? But here's the thing. I do understand people's concern with what has happened. And I will briefly discuss because I believe in being considerate. I believe in listening to viewpoints and ideas, even though you do not agree with them. I mean, as you all understand and know, there was at one point in time when DEI was actually needed. And that period of time was right after the 60s, right in the midst of the whole civil rights movement. Yes, there was once upon a time people could be like, you know what? You're not going to tell me how to run my fucking business, all right? If I don't want some blue gum son of a bitch in my business, that's my business because I'm a white man and I believe in hiring whites only. Praise white Jesus and nobody else. That really did happen. It was a thing. It really was, right? However, with the implementation of some very notable people, one of which Jesse Jackson and the Rainbow Coalition, yes, Affirmative Action, did make wonderful changes. I mean, even TV back in the 70s. I mean, the first time people actually saw black people on TV not getting their ass whooped was like the Jackson 5. And then the Jeffersons. And then Good Times, where all they saw was poor niggas every other week. That's what it was, right? So at one point in time, these things were needed. I mean, but at what point in time do we acknowledge that we have made changes, right? And we no longer live in that kind of society. As a matter of fact, there are Harvard studies that prove the opposite. And we know how everybody loves Harvard, right? Until they say something you don't like. Jesus Christ. You can't win, right? So, with that being said, DEI, yes, it was needed. I will say, but it hasn't been needed probably in the last 25 years. And I think that's fair. That's a fair assessment. When I used to hear white people say things about this, well, you'll get the job before I am. I'm like, nigga, what? No. How about I applied and I'm actually qualified for the job? And then it just depends on may the best man win, right? That's at least in my industry that I'm in. May the best man or woman win. If you got the qualifications, if you can outwork somebody, that's what it is. That's who's going to get the job. And that's the way it should be. However, we went a little bit too extreme, much like with the Me Too movement. I mean, notice how these things have very notable and good beginnings, right? Because nobody's objecting to, oh man, you know what? I should just go up there and grab him by the box. I mean, come on. You can't take things from people unwillingly. Their dignity when it comes to those things, any kind of SA violence, we all know, is disgusting. However, if you choose to sell your booty hole to the diddler, I mean, that doesn't make you a victim. That makes you a participant. You sold it, you know. And that's a whole other topic, but still, right? These things were kind of launched around the same times, is what I'm saying. And the whole point is it created and it ushered in a lot of, needed conversation about certain things. But at the same time, it also made other people, hey, if you had any dissenting opinion at all, you were instantly cut off and demonized and, oh, you're one of them, you're one of those, you're a mansplainer. And it's the same thing with this whole DEI thing. The minute you say, well, you know what? Maybe we should just make sure we get the best candidate in there. Oh my God, you're a racist, you're a Nazi, you're a fascist, oh my God. And that's what these people have been allowed to do because they play within the arena of your woke ass emotions that ultimately got you nothing. Because it's not unfortunately, there's more of me than there are of you. Like, it's hard to explain why we need DEI when everybody's getting their asses kicked, right? DEI was for our grandparents. And most of us, if you are in your 30s, 40s, and beyond, them people are dead and gone. They've been gone 5, 10, 15 years by now, right? Almost 2 decades. And don't go back any further. I am a geriatric millennial. I wear my shit with pride. I am 41 years old. Yes, I remember the Sega Genesis, the Super Nintendo, TurboGrafx 16 if you knew a baller, Sega Saturn, Sega CD, kind of trash, the Nintendo 64. That's my era, the first PlayStation. I still have my first PlayStation, right? But the point is, there are people that we people, the older millennials, and, a little bit of Z's, we remember those people who actually experience what I like to call real racism. Like, who actually had to go to segregated schools, drink out of separate fountains and things like that. This new shit, whatever these people are promoting now, I mean, you are greatly diminishing what racism actually is. And with all this DEI policy, I mean, look no further than when that Secret Service agent, after President Trump was shot at, it took her 15 minutes to find her holster after she unholstered her weapon after the shots rang out. That's not a lie, right? I mean, and then look at what happened afterwards. They got rid of certain people because they were incompetent. Incompetent. At the end of the day, I want everybody to have a fair shot at whatever it is that they pursue in life. However, you can't tell the market that it's wrong. That's the bigger point. The market decides what is valuable. So if you keep putting a trash product out there and the market is not responding, that means you have to make some changes. Make yourself more valuable. It's not that hard to do, especially today. Here's the thing. You're going to beat 85% of people today in any job market just by showing up. Those are facts. You want to know the next little 10% is? Hey, you mind working, maybe on the weekends? You're all the way in. And that's damn near anything. All you have to do in today's society is just show up. And I'm not sure if that's good. I'm not sure if that's bad. But if you need these other factors to be taken into consideration, well, I have a nose ring, I also I have a trans dog. I identify as the non-binary genealogical experiment from Weapon 23, and I also have Tourette's. That's Look, nigga, can you keep the goddamn fries going? All right. Can you keep the power on? Can you make sure people have water? I mean, whatever job you're applying for, whether it's a small job, big job, it don't matter. Can you do the job that you're saying? Because you want to know what a lot of people do, and you see it all over Instagram. Oh yeah, I have all this experience and blah, 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 blah. And then they get to the job and they are fucking up. I had a man who's older than I am considerably by 33 years. I have no idea why Papi want to come to work at the age of 74 years old. I had no idea, but he called me to my job, okay, and he tell me that I have 35 years in the industry for trucking, and I know how to drive. So I give this man a test in a manual 10-speed. This is easy. My man gets in the truck after having a bad day the previous day and that was not his fault. It was something with a fuel system. We had to get him up out of there. Understandable, shit happens. This nigga gets in the truck, turns the key over. Oh, here we go. Here's another one of these pieces of equipment. It doesn't seem to be working. It's not working. Well, I'm looking at him. Now remember, you've been doing 35 years of experience in this field. Transportation, tractor trailer driving, right? 35 years. That is the majority of my life. You take that away, I am 7 years old. Okay? It's a manual. For those of you who have never driven any manual vehicle, what is the first thing you do? You step on the clutch. And that's what I had to remind this jackass. Did you step on the clutch? Oh. And let me tell you something. This motherfucker hasn't driven a manual vehicle in at least 5 years. And it's different when you're in a truck because you don't have to necessarily give it gas, kind of like in vehicles, just because it has enough torque, right? You just step on it, you put it in, and you ease in, right? It's very easy. Honestly, driving a tractor trailer is just like driving a Honda Civic. It's not that different, except with a manual vehicle, sometimes you got to give it a little bit more. Not a lot, just a little bit more. But once again, and I'm sitting here. This man is sitting here. I got whiplash. This nigga is truck is up there. I'm like, God damn. Oh yeah, man, it seems a little bit touchy. Eventually, I had to go do something, so we end up switching seats. Because the guy can drive, barely, and that's what I had to tell my people. I'm like, hey, look, Poppy can drive, but I don't think he's driven in a minute. I think it's going to take him some time to get back up to speed. It seems like he hasn't done this in a very considerable amount of time, right? Because as soon as I got in, guess what? Truck started shifting normally. You want to know what that is? That's somebody who's competent within what it is that they do. That's the whole thing. We don't need DEI. We don't need representation. all you have to do is just show up. Do it right the first goddamn time.